Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1718 America, New York. On shaky ground, former President Karzai stays in Afghanistan. He and the Taliban have long been enemies, but he has stayed in Afghanistan, hoping to work with the militants and help shape a new government. Former President Hamid Karzai leaving after an interview at his house in Kabul, Afghanistan, in June.
Mirror World News. August 23, 1712 America, New York. Taliban smuggle US Humvees and fighting vehicles into Pakistan to sell to terrorists. Pictures show US Army Humvees and armored fighting vehicles being smuggled out of Afghanistan and into Pakistan to be sold to terror networks to swell the Taliban's multi-billion-pound war chest.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1709 America, New York. U.S. military commander in Afghanistan talks to Taliban almost daily. Other officers have also engaged with Taliban commanders on specific security and threat reduction issues, a partnership of necessity after 20 years of war. Members of the Taliban's elite commando unit on the streets of Kabul on Friday.
Time: August 23, 1638 America, New York. Why Lorde's solar power is a pop oddity. As a pop star, Lorde stands out for many reasons: her reclusiveness on social media, her emotional acuity, her idiosyncratic dancing. But one of the key elements that makes her so distinctive from her peers is more theoretical: her use of the Mixolydian mode.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1625 America, New York. Your Tuesday briefing. Fleeing Afghans are unable to find refuge in Turkey. Zainab, an Afghan refugee, sits with her one-year-old daughter at a bus station in Van, Turkey.
BBC News World. August 23, 1551 America, New York. Afghanistan. U.S. aims to complete evacuations by deadline. Allies step up calls to extend to the 31st of August withdrawal, but the Taliban insist this will violate a deal.
World CBS News, com. August 23, 1534 America, New York. Tom Cruise lands in a helicopter in a UK family's field. Alison Webb was told her field was need for a VIP who was running late, she told BBC News.
Wall Street Journal World News. August 23, 1532 America, New York. U.S. struggles to count citizens in Afghanistan as Biden weighs withdrawal delay. President Biden is set to discuss with allies the possibility of extending the August 31 deadline for withdrawal from Afghanistan as they race to evacuate thousands of people in the next 8 days.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1528 America, New York. Taliban hold first meeting of religious leaders since taking power. Hundreds of imams and leaders of religious schools met as the Taliban outlined its vision for education and its new government. Zabihullah Mujahid, the Taliban's chief spokesman, spoke at the Loya Jirga Hall on Monday before hundreds of religious leaders.
Wall Street Journal World News. August 23, 1525 America, New York. Afghanistan's collapsing economy puts pressure on the Taliban to negotiate. No nation has recognized the new regime in Kabul, inflicting an economic pain that could force the Taliban to form a more inclusive, and moderate, government that includes rival political forces.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1520 America, New York. Afghan fiasco raises hard questions for Europe. Once again, the United States has dragged its NATO allies into an embarrassing mess they had warned against, bringing calls for more autonomy. But the price of independence is steep. Taliban members outside the closed American embassy on Sunday in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Mirror World News. August 23, 1500 America, New York. Afghan special forces secretly airlifted to UK to form SAS-trained counter-terror units. Millions of pounds have been spent on training crack Afghan National Army troops, and British forces did not want their skills to go to waste. After SAS mentoring, they are to be very useful on future clandestine operations. Mirror World News. August 23, 1444 America, New York. Person from UK's no-fly list arrives in UK from Afghanistan amid evacuation. The government reportedly won't say whether the person said to have flown into Birmingham has been detained after reportedly slipping under the UK's no-fly list radar.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1441 America, New York. American vet returns to Italy to greet Bambini he last saw in 1944. The daughter of a World War II veteran used the internet to track down 3 children he was photographed with 77 years ago, after almost firing on them. On Monday, they finally met face to face. Martin Adler, a 97-year-old former American soldier, with the Naldi siblings in Bologna, Italy, on Monday. New York Times World News. August 23, 1437 America, New York. Neue National Gallery reopens in Berlin after 6-year refit. After a $165 million renovation, the Neue National Gallery looks like it did when it first opened in 1968. That's exactly the point. Crinkly, 1969, by Calder.
CNN.com World. August 23, 1434 America, New York. A new king was crowned in Nigeria's oil-rich Delta region and young Nigerians are inspired. The coronation of a dashing monarch in the oil-rich Delta region has sparked a resurgence in royalty, tradition and ancestry among some young Nigerians.
New York Times World News. August 23, 1419 America, New York. Afghan refugees find a firm and unfriendly border in Turkey. Even before the last week's harrowing scenes at the Kabul airport, thousands of Afghans were fleeing over land through Iran to Turkey. But they are being pushed back. Najibullah, his wife Zainab, and their twins at a bus station in Van, Turkey, after crossing illegally from Iran.
Time: August 23, 1344 America, New York. House Democrats are fighting among themselves on how to pass infrastructure. This article is part of the DC Brief, Times Politics newsletter. Sign up here to get stories like this sent to your inbox every weekday. Legislative standoffs are nothing new at the Capitol.
RT World News. August 23, 1337 America, New York. German shot Afghan security guards at Kabul airport after unknown sniper opened fire, reports. In the first actual attack on the Kabul airport since the Taliban took over Afghanistan, an unknown sniper reportedly opened fire on local security forces, setting off a fatal firefight with German troops and U.S. Marines.